Hi BookTube, my name is Juan. I am just one reader and I am very excited because we are finally ready to begin reading Historic Materials by Philip Pullman. So a couple of weeks or maybe even months ago, I announced that this read-along would be taking place in August and September, sort of preparing for the new installment in the Book of Dust, which is another trilogy by Philip Pullman, which is sort of an equal, sequel, prequel to Historic Materials, and also in preparation for the miniseries, which is coming out later on this year and which hopefully will not be a letdown. So when I announced this read-along of Historic Materials, a lot of people were interested. So this is how it's gonna work. This is how we're gonna do it. So I'm not gonna actually be reading from this beautiful bind-up, which is a gorgeous Everyman's Library edition. I will not be reading this because I want to show off. I just bought my Historic Materials editions, my new editions. I bought them at Oxford three days ago when I was visiting Oxford University in England. I bought my beautiful new set of Historic Materials, and I really wanted to read this editions for our read-along because they are Oxford bought, and you know, these are books that were written and born in Oxford, and Oxford is very prominent and very important in these books, so I am so excited to be reading this particular copies of the series. So this is how we're gonna do the read-along, and there are different ways in which you can participate in this read-along, but first I'm gonna say the calendar, the schedule, and all that. So August. From tomorrow, which is August the 1st, until August the 15th, so roughly the first half of the month, we will be reading Northern Lights. Oh, bask in the glory of this gorgeous edition. This is actually the 20th anniversary edition, and it's a paperback. It's very understated, but I love it. It might be my favorite set of these books that I own. I own many. So yeah, we'll be reading Northern Lights, which is book 1 in the series, from October 1 until August 1 until August 15. So the first half of the month. And then the remainder, the second half of the month of August, we will be reading The Subtle Knife, which is book number 2 in the series, so roughly from around August 16th up until the end of the month, August. Then in September, we will be doing the same thing firstly with The Amber Spyglass. So this is gonna be maybe a more busy. This is gonna be a busier month because the books for this month are longer. So for the first half of September, we will be reading The Amber Spyglass, which is book number 3. So this is a big book. It's a little chunkier. Yeah, it's about 520 something pages. So you have to prepare, you have to be organized to read this in 15 days. So we're gonna read this from September the 1st up until September 15, more or less. And then for the second half of September, we will be reading the Book of Dust, book 1, La Belle Sauvage. And then we will be ready for the second book in the Book of Dust, which is The Secret Commonwealth, which comes out October 3rd. I want to believe that I have my dates right. I will also try to squeeze in this book, but this is just something optional. I found this in London in a bookstore. This is Darkness Visible, and it's sort of a non-fiction text about Philip Pullman and Historic Materials in general, but I really enjoyed this thing here on the front, which says Essential Reading Ahead, the Book of Dust. So I was like, okay, yeah, I have to read it. And also on the back, it says, what do Philip Pullman and J.K. Rowling have in common that has made both of their stories so successful? What does Pullman listen to while he writes, and who or what is Dust? Pullman's award-winning trilogy, His Dark Materials, has been appreciated by readers of all ages. It is now set to welcome new fans as it is adapted for television by the BBC in 2018-19. The first part of his long-awaited new trilogy, The Book of Dust, will also see publication, so this is actually number 2. Nicholas Tucker, a leading authority on children's literature, writes about the man he knows as a friend and explores the world of science, theology, imagination, and adventure that Pullman has created. And this actually includes a personal interview with Philip Pullman himself, and it's a unique exploration of the author's work and its controversies. So this is going to be great for this kind of read-along and this sort of preparation for both the miniseries and the new Book of Dust book. So that is the schedule, that's the calendar, that's how we will be reading. Now, how can you participate in this read-along? There are 2 ways in which we will be able to interact and comment and discuss. The first one is going to be here on YouTube. Basically, we're going to read, as I said, the first 15 days of August, we'll be reading Northern Lights, Book 1. When we are finished with Northern Lights, so roughly, more or less, at the end of that first period of time, so at the middle of August, I will post a video here in my channel, sort of checking in and giving my own opinion, my own thoughts. And in that video, you guys can comment, and that will be a way of engaging in conversation, and we can interact there. And I will do that. I will do that kind of video for every book that we read. So we will read a book, I will post a video, we will read a book, I will post a video, and we can comment there and we can reply to one another, and it's like having a sort of chat. The second way in which you can participate in this read-along is if you want to really express yourself and you feel like just a comment on a YouTube video is not enough, then you can contact me on Voxer. You can find me as JuanQL, and you can directly contact me and I can put you in a group chat and we can have a discussion there with many people. Voxer is great because you can text or you can also speak in it, so sort of like a walkie-talkie, like a long message. So you can really express yourself and you can rant, and it's great for this kind of thing. So you can do both things. You can do one or the other, or you can do both, whatever works for you. Now, you can also decide to participate with just one book or the other. So if you just want to read book 1, you don't care about the other books, that's fine. If you just want to read and comment on book number 2 and that's it, that's perfect. If your favorite one is book number 3 and you just want to do that one, you can just wait until we get to that one. If you only are interested in reading the Book of Dust, La Belle Sauvage, you can just do that. So you can, this is a pretty relaxed, sort of Montessori kind of read along. You choose what you want, okay? So I hope this has been clear. If there are any questions or doubts or whatever, please leave your comment down below. And if there aren't any questions, I will see you in 2 weeks for the first check-in video of this read along, in which we will be wrapping up Northern Lights.